All right, we've got a noise call. It's not a no heat, but it is a unit making noise. We've been in this neighborhood quite a bit. This is a neighborhood with a lot of new construction, as you can see down there, still going on. So he says his furnace is making some noise that it wasn't making just a few weeks back, and he thinks we should check it out, so let's go see what it is. Okay, so I looked at his ductwork. I was able to figure out this is the top floor. This one over here is the bottom floor, and this is the one he says he's getting the noise out of. Running quiet as a mouse now. Alright. So, looks like when the door is on, doesn't look like it's hurt the wire. It's plastic. Alright, so I didn't hear any noise at all when I first came up here. And then I just saw that. It's kind of like that. It looked like it was awful close. But anyway. It sounds normal at the moment anyway. The other one has got a noise. I don't think it's this one doing it. It's possible. So I'm going to go ahead and let the fan kick on and cool the heat exchanger back down. Draft dropped out. So unless it's a long cycle that starts making noise or whatever, I don't think there's anything wrong with this one. Maybe he was mistaken as to which one it was. I hear a rattle. That's coming through on the camera or not. There's like a plate or something in the heat exchanger, possibly in the coil. Sort of vibration. Pretty nice cabinet. The way the doors fit, they're pretty solid. Works pretty well. Nice window. I don't think much of this. That's a joke. And trying to use these highly restrictive furnaces, these filters, is not a good idea. Those are not near as bad. Right there. Definitely don't suggest these. They're just way too restrictive. But when you read all the stuff on the pack, you know, it doesn't tell you all that. You know, they just want to sell you filters. They don't bother telling you need twice as much surface area to have this aggressive of a filter. But anyway, let's take a look at this other one over here and make sure the noise isn't coming out of it. At least this one has the wires going that way. So let's run this one. And see if we can hear any noises out of it. Not out of the induced draft, at least not right now. Little bitty furnace here for the top floor. It's not a great idea to run the burner while you got the blower compartment door open, but I guess we were doing it looking. So, the only thing I'm finding here is a little bit of a rattle internally on that thing. If it was a plate inside it or something to do with the heat exchanger or the coil or what, but it had a little bit of a rattle in there. Look at that electrical. I don't know what the point of running that Greenfield or whatever that metal jacket is for short period of time until you decide, or running it for a short distance until you decide just to go to open wire. I don't know what that is. May as well just ran the Romex right to the cabinet. But I got the same thing here. I do not know what the point of that is. I used to call it, I didn't know what it was, I called it green sleeves. So, Adam says it's green field, and those Yankees up there run it a lot for whatever reason. It's better than BX, better than that kind you buy like this that has the wire already in it. But I don't see the point of it here at all. So, let's put this back together.
You need a flashlight? I got a flashlight.
No, I'm good. All right, so what the customer described actually is a humming sound. And I'm suspecting the reed effect from these louvers. So I'm gonna try a little old trick an old man showed me one time. I definitely hear it. So I'm gonna take these needle nose. I'm gonna slightly open the angle of each vent. And see if we can affect it. This works really well on the 14x20 filter grills. So I'm going to do this to all 3 rows on both of these grills and see if we can get rid of the noise. All right, so I don't think the camera picked it up before, and probably not now, but we have made a huge difference. So we straightened some of these out, or we straightened all of them out some. Now the downside to that is you might be able to see up in these a little more than you could, but they're facing the wall, so it's not terrible. I think it was worth it to get rid of the noise, and I think the customer will probably agree. So you just do it very carefully and not to scratch up the grill. Maybe one day I'll get me some plastic needle nose to do that with. But she is quiet as a mouse now. Funny thing about it, the old man that showed me that trick really wasn't a heating and air guy anyway. But that's what I call the reed effect. You know, a reed like a saxophone or clarinet has, causing it to make noise. So we just opened up the airflow a little bit. And there you go. Okay, so went in there at first, and he had thought it was the furnace making the noise and really didn't elaborate, and I guess maybe I didn't ask him enough questions. Just immediately popped in my mind that the induced draft or something going on in the furnace. It is gas out there. Almost everything out there is gas, so I knew it would be something in the attic, so I just went straight up there and took a quick look at both of them. And then when I decided to go down there and quiz him a little further and see if he could show me the noise, which I might should have done first, he kind of directed us over towards the return area there and said, whenever it's on and I walk by right here, I can hear it kind of a humming sound. And that's what eventually, and that's what immediately drew my attention to the reed effect of those non-filtered grills. These new construct designers, I don't know if they've got architects fashioning themselves as engineers or who it is that comes up with these designs, but I tell you what, it's just certainly substandard to say the least. But nonetheless, they'll put a lot of air through a couple of those stamp grills. So that has either a 12 or a 14 going down to it in almost all cases. I did not really notice in that case what was drawing through those grills. I just heard it immediately when we flipped the fan switch on. He was going to turn the heat on. I said, well, let's just try the fan. And he said, yeah, see, there it is. So that's where we did the little trick there and took the needle nose out. Maybe one day I'll get me some plastic ones. But anyway, just a little small tweak that you can do in some cases. Works really good with small filter grills that move a lot of air. And they have that problem, especially when they're down on the floor, because that slight bend really doesn't make it any more visible. But he certainly could notice a slight difference in the look of it, but he said he'd rather have that and the noise gone, because when it was over with, I mean, that air noise was completely gone. So he was happy. Simple little problem, quick service call, and we were out of there. So let's go to the next one. Thanks for watching.